Okay, everyone, welcome to the show today. Great to have you. Great, more or less, to have you. Fireplace is going because it's holiday season. Hope you guys are getting off to a good holiday season, Thanksgiving, all that good stuff. And today what we're going to be talking about is net sheets and how to read that, what it is, and how to read it. I have to be discreet about what I show you in regard to this because obviously I don't want any personal information getting out there, but let's walk through what it is a little bit, and you guys can chime in with any questions that you got. And if you wouldn't mind, subscribe to the channel. That would be lovely. Yeah, that'd be lovely. Okay, guys, so here's what a net sheet is. If you're selling your home, it's one of the first things that I like to do for sellers. For some people, when they're going to sell their house, they have a certain number in mind where they're like, hey, if we can make this number, then we will sell our house. Some people don't really care. They're like, look, we're selling our house regardless. And the obvious answer is we want to make as much money as we can. But with some recent clients, they wanted to get to a certain amount. So I said, okay, let's run the numbers to see how close I think that we're going to get to that. So so a net sheet essentially is just a list of credits and debits for the seller and really buyer for that point, but it's relevant to the seller, to give you an estimation, right, of what you will net at the end of the day. Now, these don't take into account taxes, but it's essentially a breakdown of, hey, here's what your closing costs would be, and here's, these expenses you need to plan for, yada, yada, yada. Here's what you should walk with at the end of the day. It will look something, let me just make sure, ain't nothing weird on this, nope. So it will look essentially like this. The top half of this is obviously information regarding the address and person and stuff like this. But essentially what it will look like is you've got two columns here, right? And you're going to have a list of credits and debits to the seller. So a credit essentially is incoming money, right? These are funds that would be incoming. A debit would be, hey, this is funds that will be going out the door for you, okay? So if we look at it just very simply, how this would work is the first credit would be the price that we are projecting to get for the home, right? Now, for this sheet, it says $640, right? So that's what will be coming in. And then the first debit would be a seller credit, and that says $9,500. So in the case of this, that is essentially, or not even essentially, that is a credit that the buyers can use towards their closing costs, right? So let me go down the list. You're going to have your escrow fee of $425 on this. That's what you pay to the title company to just basically manage the deal, and they exchange the money in between the parties. They really operate as an independent, neutral third party that primarily makes sure the house is clean and clear to be sold. All the money is arranged appropriately. That's largely, and they, filing with the county, all that kind of stuff, right? So $425 is what's being charged there. Then you will see the commissions. That for the seller would be a debit, right? That is something that they are paying. And so that would be, hey, whatever the total commission amount is that you are offering on your house between both the listing agent, aka the seller's agent, and the buyer's agent, right? Then you're going to have the payoff amount. That would be a debit, aka of the 640 grand that's about to come in. Actually, I forgot, there's also a credit, because right now the only credit is for 640. The other credit would be for county taxes. Basically, you're going to have a little, in this particular case, a little bit of a surplus that you've paid on taxes, so you're going to wind up getting back about $85. The biggest debit that you are going to see for the vast majority of net sheets is going to be, well, what's the payoff quote on your mortgage, right? In this case, it's about 407 grand, right? That's what they owe on the property. On the back side of this, you've got just a couple others. You would have debits for estimated utilities, right, that you still owe. Typically, once you get under contract on a house, like, hey, your utility bills are just going to be squared away at closing for anything that you owe when you wind up closing on the house. So that's estimated at $250. Another debit is for a home warranty. In this case, that is something that was agreed to in the contract for the sellers to pay for a home warranty of up to $600 for the buyers. So you will see a debit of $600. And then you will see the final debit of in this case, about $2,700 for a title policy, right? That's just guaranteeing, free and clear title to the buyers. That is something that the sellers always pay for, at the very least in Utah, where I live, but I'm pretty sure that's largely across the country. And then when you tally it all up, right? So this is, this is where most sellers really want to get to. They're like, cool, yeah. What's the number that I walk away with, right? So the grand total is, hey, you've got a credit inbound of about $640,000 and $640 and $85. And your total debits are going to be about $453, aka due to the seller once everything is paid, right? Home warranty and commissions and property taxes and everything, right? It's about 187 grand, right? And that's just how it breaks down. So if you're ever selling your house, I would recommend that you ask your listing agent to work up a net sheet based on what they're projecting the house will sell for. If anything, I like to go conservative on these, and if I think the house is going to sell for 640, go, okay, cool, especially in a volatile market like this, go, hey, look, let's just plan on like 625. Let's just plan on like 15 grand for shit happens that, we can't anticipate yet. Could be an appraisal gap, or could be it just sells for less than what we were hoping for. So plan for, a few points there on some sort of other debit, right, that you were going to have, or less credit, I guess, in that case. So that's how a net sheet works. Again, highly recommend that you get one of those worked up before you list your house, just so you have a realistic projection of what the house is going to sell for. And so much of that is going to be based on the comps, right, the comparable sales, and what your house is projected to sell for. So make sure that you have good data that your agent is giving you on that. Make them justify why they think your house is going to sell for the price that it's going to sell for, which is just data, right? It's relatively simple. So that's it, guys. If you need real estate help, you can let us know. I work locally in Utah, but we've got a lot of different agents that we work with all over the country. The company is called the 1911 Syndicate. It's basically a real estate company for not exclusively, but largely for like military, law enforcement, outdoors enthusiasts, shooters, gun guys, stuff like that. And we pretty much service just anywhere in the country. So you can always let us know if you need help. We'd love to help you. We do have some of you from this channel that we've been able to help, so that's been great. Otherwise, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, and then we will see you guys next time.